Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1987 film Stakeout, starring Richard Dreyfuss, Emilio Estevez, and Marilyn Stowe. For this, excuse me, on my phone. I always get interrupted during these videos by somebody. Of course, the movie Stakeout is part of the genre of the buddy cop pictures. And of course, and this movie came out the same year as Lethal Weapon did. You know, the Lethal Weapon series has a lot of humor in it, but it's mostly, dramatic action pictures. Stakeout also has a lot of action in it, but plays more up to its comedic effect than the Lethal Weapon series did. Well, anyway, and comparing the two films, because both films came out, both the original Lethal Weapon film and Stakeout both came out the same year. Well, Stakeout, or the plot of Stakeout, is Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez play two partners who get assigned to stake out a house that a man in Stowe lives in, because she was supposed to be the ex-girlfriend of an escaped prisoner. It was played by Aileen Quinn. And so they figured that he was going to go to her house, which eventually, towards the end of the film, he eventually does get there. But between now and then, the two guys, Emilio Estevez and Richard Dreyfuss, are bored to tears staking out this house. And of course, eventually, they realized that Marilyn Stowe was smoking hot, and they thought it was going to be some 300-pound woman, living in this house. And meanwhile, it was Marilyn Stowe, and they just said that she was smoking hot. Well, now it was like a romance that forms between Richard Dreyfuss' character and Marilyn Stowe. Of course, what happens is that he goes over to her house to plant a bug in the phone line, and he gets caught. So he comes up with this excuse that he works for the phone company and taking all the phones in the area and stuff, and they keep running into each other. When Richard Dreyfuss goes to get food and stuff, and a local grocery market, and he happens to run into her, and of course they end up bonding and end up falling in love with each other. And Emilio Estevez goes, "Oh, don't do it! What are you, crazy? She's a possible suspect. Her ex-boyfriend is possibly coming, and if you see you there, he might kill you, and that type of thing. Richard Dreyfuss doesn't give a damn. They end up actually doing the deed, two characters, and then of course by the end of the movie, of course, guess what happens? The boyfriend escapes from jail. He comes in, and of course they have this whole shootout, because at first they thought that he died, spoiler, when the cops were chasing him, but he had to survive. But gets to the girlfriend's house when he sees Richard Dreyfuss there, and of course they had this fight going on, and then Emilio Estevez bails him out, and they end up killing the boy, Aileen Quinn's character. You have to shoot him, and of course he dies, and of course everything is now okay by the end of this film. And of course Richard Dreyfuss says, as admitting that he goes to Marilyn Stowe, and ends up admitting that he loves her, even though she was ticked off at him because he was staking her out. And I thought it was it was not the greatest movie, it's not the greatest plot and stuff like that, but it's just, at least the first film. Yes, there was a sequel, and I'm going to do the review next, in the next video. That there was it was an okay premise, but it was, with all the other buddy cop films, in the 80s, you get tired of this type of premise, because this cop, you already had the first two Beverly Hills Cop movies came out already, plus the Lethal Weapon movies, and the first Lethal Weapon film, and now you have this one, and so it's like almost one after buddy cop movie after another at this point, and people are getting tired of it. already. It was like really in the first full year, you had the buddy cop pictures, and people were starting to get tired of it. And then, but then was it, the performances of Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez, is what carried this film, in my opinion. But because I was kind of like a mild Richard Dreyfuss fan anyway because of the Jaws movie, first Jaws film. So, but he did the job very well, but it's almost, not the greatest movie. And the funny thing is one of my favorite directors directed this movie, and that's John Barnum, who directed my other favorite films, War Games, and Saturday Night Fever. So he had a string of pretty big hits, and this was a mild hit in the summer of 1987. It wasn't a top money maker because you had Beverly Hills Cop 2 came out that year, and you also had Dirty Dancing that year. So this was, like I said earlier, the first Lethal Weapon film also came out in 87, and that's what came right in the middle of it. And it was, I think it maybe was the top 10 in money making. I'm not too sure on that. I think it was in the top 10 in money making movies of 1987, and that wasn't such a great year for movies though. But it did well enough that it did a sequel 6 years later though, and that's going to be, of course, in my next video. So this is my review of the movie Stakeout. I have to do a short review. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel, rallyc.com, that's WDY.com, that's the homepage of your Rally Reviewer, Christine Moore. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.